So one of our executives, she's on a ton of boards, and the question that they're all asking now is, what's our disruption budget? So how do we actually create a company or create an idea that is potential to disrupt our organization, because we want to control it, we want to understand it, we want to be able to plan for it. And that's something that they're, like I said, it's a real consideration. It was Jeff Bezos, Amazon. He's like, if there's margin, there's opportunity. So if you think of the margin business, especially in financial services or just a whole bunch of others, there is billions of dollars that's being poured into how do we disrupt those industries? Like, I mean, the blockchain I heard today, right? I mean, there's so many different technologies that are coming. It's how do you get on top of it? How do you understand it?
It's sort of the black swan, but in a different way, right?
Yeah.
So it's what do we know? What don't we know that's coming down? So it's the black swan of technology that we're not aware of. And so you're absolutely right. I think, and John and I talked with Chris. So I'm sitting on some boards and I'm looking at it from a board perspective now and understanding what boards are asking and how boards are approaching these kind of questions and how they're dependent on the kind of people like we are around the table to tell them, what's disruptive, what's coming, how do I manage this? And so there's more enlightenment coming, and there's more questions coming from that perspective too. That's putting even more onus on us to try to figure out how to answer those questions from that perspective. So you're right. But when I think of disruptive technologies, that's the whole point. We don't know they're coming. We just know they're coming. We know there's a tsunami coming. We don't know how or when it's coming, but it's going to hit us. So how do you prepare for the unknown?
Yeah.
We spun out 2 divisions into independent companies because we saw them, we were holding them back when we looked at the broader company, and we saw the product set that they were attacking. They were disruptors within the company. We said, well, if you can be disruptors within, maybe you can be disruptors without, right? And we kicked them out, and it's been nothing but success in the past 6-7 months for them, right? And then from my team's perspective, which is a shared service, we've been able to target them because they're now small, right? And they have a different workforce, and they go to market differently to actually consume different technology and be our pilot site in real production, right? So I think companies have to look within as well. You don't have to start a startup up, right? I think you have startups within your own business. It's just a matter of how do you pick that up and how do you become agile but also clever, and I think that's the key, right? The clever part is what sometimes corporations, we all get stuck in governance and policy, and I think that clever part is just kick them out. And I think there's a lot of opportunity within our big companies to do that. So
the thing is, when you have to introduce something new and business says, well, I got to make money, so go away. Come and tell me when this makes money. But I think that the issue is you have to stay ahead of it. Someone said stay ahead of it. We have to stay ahead of it. So how do we stay ahead of it and make sure that the business doesn't suffer as a result of, because there's a risk there too, because you yourself or whoever you represents that introduction or that staying on top of things to keep things current it's a balance, right? I think that there's a big thing, because then you suffer not only internal perception or stakeholder issues, but external as a result of not doing something. So there's a risk of not doing something.
It's an obligation. Don't you think that's our obligation to
Exactly.
do that? I mean, I understand the challenge, but
Exactly.
I think if we're not willing to step up to that obligation challenge, I think that's what the expectation is, and rightly or wrongly, they keep looking to us to do that. And I think it's our opportunity to be innovative of how we do it, taking advantage of things that are out there. But I really, I use that word strongly. I think it's an obligation that we need to live up to, or else it's that other discussion is IT becoming a dinosaur and fading away because we're still stuck